All right, so I think there is definitely a cyclist that the Wahoo Kickr Rollr will be the best option for them when compared to the regular Kickr or the Kickr bike, and I will tell you who that is. So my name is Dr. Joel Leby. I'm a physical therapist. My practice is called Mission Move. It's here in Roswell, Georgia, and I'm a certified bike fitter. And I thought I would do a review on, or kind of a comparison review of these three products, the new Wahoo Rollr, the Kickr, and then the Kickr bike, which I have at home. So the first thing, which is kind of the highlight of this, and we'll get into why I think there's a specific kind of cyclist that is for, with the Wahoo Rollr, and this has probably been the most highlighted feature, is the ease of use, right? So it's literally like you put the bike on there, bring this forward, tighten the wheel down, and you're in business to go. So it just takes a few seconds, which for me is a massive highlight of this, because ease of use, I think, is really important when it comes to these different products. So how this thing, my first time using it, it's set up pretty quickly. I was able to kind of get once I started going, the power meter hooked up pretty quickly. You can see this here in this video I took. You'll see the back wheel move around a little bit, just because I wasn't sitting on the bike, I was just pedaling it by hand, but it connected really quickly. And then when I got on to ride for the first time, it is a little bit different feel than the Kickr and the Kickr bike. I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe it's just the size of the flywheel here in the back. But it does seem like it takes a little bit more time to kind of get up to speed. It's probably due to some of the resistance of the wheel on the roller also. And so it was pretty seamless. It picks up really quickly. I didn't have to really do anything. I have a rotor in power meter on this bike, and after I paired the Kickr to my iPad and I just started pedaling, it automatically picked up the power meter. So that was pretty cool. And so it does it really quick, and then I could feel when it picked it up, because the resistance changed almost automatically. When you're riding it, it is a different feel in that you do feel like you're riding your own bike a little bit more, right? Instead of feeling like you're connected to a machine, you feel like you're actually on your bike pedaling, a little bit more of an outside, kind of feel riding on the road than with either the Kickr or the Kickr bike. The other thing that's been noted, and I did see it a little bit, and I think it would be affected if you had to do a lot of stand-up pedaling on this, is there is a little bit of flex with that front wheel being clamped in. But it didn't freak me out, right? I mean, if you were using this as your main trainer and you were training, hours and hours indoor all the time, then maybe that would become an issue, but I don't know. I kind of highly doubt it. So but the way the power came on, once I got up to speed, was very similar to the Kickr and then the Kickr bike. I guess the question, I think it's the big question for a lot of people with this, is like, well, who exactly is this for when compared to the other two? I mean, they have several other smart trainers too, but specifically between the Kickr, the Rollr, and the Kickr bike. So for me, and this is more of a personal thing, but riding on the trainer has a lot to do with the ease as to being able to do it, right? I don't want to have to like set up a bunch of stuff, right? So I think even with the Kickr, right, especially having to take the back wheel off, this is why a lot of people have a dedicated trainer bike, right? They don't use their main bike all the time on the trainer. They kind of have a bike they use just for the trainer because, again, ease of use of just being like, I want to get on the trainer, I just go down there, pop on my shoes, and I start riding, right? So, and because most people have a trainer bike, and a bike specifically for the trainer, like when they use the Kickr, you have to sort of have a dedicated space always set up to do it, right? If that ease of use is what's important to you, which it is to me, it's like, well, I'm gonna have my one bike on the trainer, and I'm just gonna keep it there, but then you actually have to have a space where it stays there. You're not dragging this thing out and setting everything all up, putting a mat down, getting a little table or cart, whatever you use. So in that sense, I think this is easier. Now, probably the easiest thing is the Kickr bike, right? In that is a kind of a dedicated setup. You would have a dedicated space. That's what I use at home. And literally, I just go down there, pop the shoes on, and I'm ready to go. So big picture, who do I think this is for? I think this is perfect for a cyclist who maybe only just has one bike, right? And it's a bike with a power meter, because it does have to have a power meter. That's another kind of interesting thing about this. You do have to have a power meter on your bike for it to work. And who doesn't have the space to have a dedicated setup all the time. Because the thing folds all the way flat when the bike's off, I see this being perfect for a cyclist who lives maybe in a city or in a small apartment space where they don't have room for a dedicated setup. This thing would easily slide underneath a bed, right? And then you would just slide it out, pop your own one and only bike on there because you don't have room, or maybe just don't have the resources to have another bike, and you're pretty instantaneously riding. I mean, I think about it, it's like, you know, who of us hasn't gotten up to go for a ride, and the night before the weather looked perfect, we wake up and it's pouring down rain, and you're like, shoot, I'm already have dedicated the time, I'm already dressed, I'm ready to go. Now it just starts to rain when I'm getting ready for my ride. This will be the easiest thing. Slide out from under the bed, put your bike that's all ready to go, hop on and do your ride indoors instead of outside. So that's kind of my take on this line between the Kickr bike and the Kickr Rollr. Is the Kickr Rollr limited space and only one bike with a power meter? I think this thing is perfect, as opposed to having the dedicated space that most people have for the Kickr and for the Kickr bike. So I typically don't do a lot of review type videos, but I just thought since I had access to all three of these machines, it might be something people are interested in, just to hear my take on it. And if you have any questions, let me know, but I hope you enjoyed my review. Thanks, guys.